All right, so now we just need to make sure that we are only producing the icon buttons that have the visible property of true. So we can just add a check here, and I think we need to remove this set of parentheses. We'll actually want to change this. Let's wrap these in braces, and then we can get rid of those parentheses. So we'll use a set of braces, and now we can add an if statement to check if the action.visible is true. Then we'll go ahead and we will return this icon button. All right, let's go ahead and save that. And it looked like it messed things up a little bit. I think we need to go back, and actually inside of the if statement we need to return the icon button, and that will be in a multi-line statement. There we go. Save that. And now if we flip back on over to the browser, check that out. We've got just the menu icon as we'd expect. When we click on it, we've got our drawer just as we'd expect. And when we go up, we get the other actions, the My Account, just as everything was working before. All right, but now the code is much cleaner, much more reusable. Now let's go ahead and use the component prop and the link component to make sure our icon buttons actually navigate us where we'd want them to. All right, so on the icon button, we'll add the component prop equals the link component, and then and we'll want to navigate this to our actions dot, and we'll add a link property. All right, so now we can come up to our actions, and we will find search. And we won't add anything to this yet because that won't be a different page that we navigate to, but cart, we'll add the link property, and this will take us to /cart, and account, we'll add the link property to /account. All right, so now it's going to find those link properties and navigate us to that whenever we click on it, and since we're not setting a link property on our other actions, that should do nothing. So let's go ahead and save that. If we flip back on over, let's try out our search icon. We can see nothing happens, but if we click on our cart, there we go. We're navigated over to the cart page. So I'll go back, we can click on My Account, and we're navigated to account. So that's a really nice, clean way of putting all this together, and our menu still works just as expected. Now, we probably want these actions to actually be pushed over here to the right side of the page. So we need to add some margin in between these two. So let's go ahead and we'll find the button that is wrapping the typography for our logo. Let's go ahead and take this button and we'll give it classes of root, and we'll make this classes.logo container. Now let's come up into our style object. And underneath logo text, let's add logo container. Make sure you get the comma underneath. And now inside of here, we only want this to be applied for the medium breakpoint. So we'll use the syntax that we had seen for adding responsive design in our styles. So we'll use a pair of brackets and then the theme.breakpoints.down for medium. So anything that is medium and below, we'll go ahead and set a margin right of auto. All right, should be able to go ahead and save that. And now we see that the icons were correctly pushed over, and we get a nice spacing taken care of for us right there. Let's finish up by adding some styles to our header. So the drawer here, let's go ahead and style this up. So I'll make it so we can see that. And let's scroll down to our swipeable drawer. And on our swipeable drawer, let's give it the classes prop. But instead of root, we'll actually be using the paper class. Okay, the paper component is a building block component that a lot of material UI components are built on. So the paper class will be one we'll probably use often. And we'll set this to classes.drawer. Now we can come up to our style object and add drawer, and let's give this a background color of our theme.palette.primary.main, and this will be our main green color. So go ahead and save that. And you can see we've now got a green drawer. Let's go ahead and change the color of the actual tabs there though. So let's go ahead and find our list item here, or actually the list item text rather, and we'll give it the classes prop. And we'll set this class to our primary class actually, since this is the primary text that we've added. And we'll set this to our classes dot list item text. And now let's go add the list item text class, and we'll give it a color of, let's just use white. And you can see that now we have that. I'll go ahead and come over here and I'll inspect the element on this. Let's check the console. Yeah, it looks like everything's good. And I'll make sure to check the fonts that we have here, and it looks like we're actually already applying our body 1 typography, which contains the Montserrat at 1.5 rem. And so that is the style that I'd actually like to keep for this. So I think that that looks really good now. We can go ahead and close out of that, close out of our inspector, and let's go ahead and open it up now to where we have our tabs, and let's add some styles to our tabs. So we'll come down and find our tab, and we'll go ahead and add the classes prop here, and this will be the root class, and let's give it classes.tab singular. And we'll come up, and above our tabs, let's give it a class of tab, and in here let's go ahead and we can pull out the styles from our theme if we use the spread operator. So ... the theme .typography .body1. We can go ahead and save that and see that we now have our body 1 styles being applied with the Montserrat font, but it's not as thick as I'd like it to be from the design file, which is why we added that extra font weight to our Gatsby config. So now let's also set a font weight of 600 here. Go ahead and save that. And it actually is a pretty subtle distinction there, but the font weight, if we go ahead and inspect this, we can see it is being applied. All right. So I think that is looking pretty good. That is definitely the styles that we want from the design file. One last thing before we go, we can flip back on over and we can add to our tab. Let's add the component prop here as well with the link component, and then this will be 2. We'll set this to, and actually we'll need this to be some JavaScript. And one thing to keep in mind here is our routes is actually the combination of our categories as well as the contact us. And I would say we just use the name for our category as the link, but the name for contact us is a bit different than what we would want the route to be, because we'll probably just have the route be /contact. So we can just go ahead and add a property inside of here, inside of the contact us, a link property to /contact. And now we can set this to our route.node.link, or because that's going to be undefined on the other ones, so this will only apply for our contact us, or if it's not the contact us, we'll go ahead and use the route. Actually, we'll need to do this in backticks / and then $ braces to inject a variable into this string. So this will navigate us to / and then the route.node.name, and let's do .to lowercase just to make sure that it is the correct style. So let's go ahead and save that. And now we should be able to click this, and we were navigated successfully to /contact. If we go back, we can try out the other ones, and /shirts, /hoodies, and /hats. So we've got navigation all set up in our header now. And one tiny thing before we go, we forgot to add the key here to our icons, or actions rather. When we're mapping over this, we need to make sure we give the icon button a key property so React can tell each of these apart. And let's make this key, we can just do the action.alt, and that should be good for our key. So let's go ahead and take a break now, and we'll come back in the next video and see how we can actually manage whichever tab we're on with a correct active tab styling. Right now we're just passing in a hard-coded hats as our active tab, but let's go ahead and make sure we're setting that up based on the tab we're actually on.